Good day, everyone. We are here today to present to you our research proposal. Let me first introduce to you myself and my group members. I am Claire Tanio together with Heidi DeGuzman and Gemaline Adona. Our research proposal is entitled Factors Affecting the Mathematical Problem-Solving Skills of Non-Academic Track Senior High School Student in Asian Institute of Technology and Education. Let us have first the introduction. Mathematical problem is a tool used not only to help students develop their thinking ability, but it also helps them to develop their basic skills of solving the problems, especially a problem in daily life. The goal of teaching mathematics to be effective was that the students were able to solve its problem. As a matter of fact, the experience in solving the problems of the subject is very important to develop students' thinking skills and help them gain more skills in solving the problem in daily life, according to Pimta, Tairakam, and Nangchale of 2009. The importance of problem solving in learning mathematics comes from the belief that mathematics is primarily about reasoning, not memorization. The researchers are interested in study about the factors influencing the mathematical problem solving of non-academic track senior high school students in Asian Institute of Technology and Education, or AITE. The study aims to study the factors affecting the mathematical problem-solving skills of non-academic track senior high school students in AITE and to develop and inspect the factors that influence the mathematical problem-solving skills of non-academic students. The purpose of this research study is to determine the factors affecting the mathematical problem-solving skills of the students. Let us have the background of the study. According to Capuno et al. Of 2019, that Filipino students' performance in math need to be improved as reflected in a 2016 to 2017 Global Competitiveness Report Index. The Philippines ranked 79 out of 138 participating countries in terms of the quality of science and math education. This report is consistent with the Department of Education National Achievement Test or NAT results, in which the mean percentage score in mathematics was 48.63%, a score below the 50% requirement of DepEd. It is essential that factors affecting the performance of the student in math are explored in order to address this concern. Neglecting to address this problem will worsen the situation of the country's educational development. Thus, the researcher will conclude the best strategy to boost the mathematical problem-solving skills of non-academic track senior high school students in AIT.
Statement of the problem. The research entitled Factors Affecting the Mathematical Problem-Solving Skills of Senior High School Students in Asian Institute of Technology and Education will answer the following questions. First, does gender of the student affect mathematical problem-solving skills? Second, what are the hindrances why students are having trouble in solving mathematics problem? And third, what are the best teaching strategies to boost the mathematical problem-solving skills of the students? Let's talk about conceptual framework. The conceptual framework here under the presented variables that influence mathematical problem-solving skills of senior high school students at AITE. The research paradigm this figure shows the independent and dependent variables of the study. Independent variable includes the student's gender, learning method, and teaching method, while dependent variable contains mathematical problem-solving skills of non-academic track senior high school student in Asian Institute of Technology and Education.
Scope and the limitation. The study focused on the factors affecting the mathematical problem-solving skills of the students. The study aimed to have respondents of students from non-academic senior high school at AITE. The study aimed to find the statistical of which to develop and inspect the factors that influence mathematical problem-solving skills of senior high school students. In order to collect the data of this study, the researcher intended to use survey questionnaires. The researcher will use Google Form as a way to collect the response for the surveys. The study is limited to respondents who are enrolled at AITE Senior High School. Let's proceed with the significance of the study. The vital findings that this study would reveal will highly be significant and beneficial, specifically to the following. For the students, understand the factors that are affecting their mathematical problem-solving skills. For the parents, to understand the factors that influence the mathematical problem-solving skills and to be able to make necessary help or action for child's improvement. For mathematics instructors, able to make powerful statements and actions that can improve the confidence and also the skills of their students when it comes to solving mathematical problems. For the school in administration, would be able to produce students with great skills in the fields of mathematics, which could boost the school's reputation. And for the future researchers, they can use the present research as a reference data and guide for a more comprehensive study.
Research methodology. In this chapter, the research methodology explains how the proposed study will fulfill. Let's talk about research design. The research designs that were used in the study were descriptive. A descriptive study design was chosen to discover the factors affecting the mathematical problem-solving skills of the students. The participant of the study, the population consisted of the students enrolled in AIT during the 2021-2022 academic school years. Out of the 45 students, the 41 students, specifically 17 males and 24 females, are really in good shapes and are able to respond honestly to questionnaires. The survey research was studied by collecting and analyzing data from people who are willing to be representative of the entire strand.
Now, let us talk about the sampling design. Stratified random sample is a type of probability sampling used in this study. The researchers selected a random student that will be the sample size of the whole population of the senior high school student of AIT. The overall population of non-academic track grade 12 students who enrolled for this school year was 45, and the sample size was derived from it was a 41. It is done by computing the sample size. The researchers had used the Slovin's formula. Slovin's formula is used to compute for the sample size using the population and a margin of error. Margin of error is a percentage a lot, just in case errors happen in the result of sampling process. Let's move on to the researchers or the research instrument. In order to get the needed amount of information and to arrive at certain conclusions, the researchers prepared to collect data from their participants by the use of researchers-made survey questionnaire that contain 14 statements. Questionnaire is divided into two. One shows question about respondents' gender, while the other one is based on their degree of agreement and disagreement based on the given statement or the questions.
The next one is data gathering procedure. Number 1 is selection of participants from senior high school department. Number 2, making of survey questionnaires via Google form. Number 3, making a request letter for the approval of conducting the survey among the selected students in the said school. Number 4, distribution of the Google form from survey questionnaire via Messenger. Number 5, gathering of data, input of the respondents. Number 6, analysis and interpretation of the completed and tallied data from the respondents. And the statistical treatment. The responses from the questionnaire were tallied and the results were tabulated. The statistical tools that were used for the presentation, interpretation, and analysis of data are percentage, another way of clearly expressing the proportion of data as it depicted the size of an item when related to the other item.
Now let us talk about the chapter 4, which is the presentation, analysis, and interpretation of data. This chapter contains all the data gathered by the researchers regarding the presentation, analysis, and interpretation of results obtained through observation and experimentations. Let us talk about the first graph, difficulty in solving mathematical problem based on gender. This table shows the difficulties in mathematical problem solving based on the gender of the student. These two figures present the degree of agreement and disagreement of the respondents on the statement, "I do not find solving mathematical problem difficult," based on the gender of the respondents. It clearly shows 9 or 53% of male respondents and 14 or 58% of female respondents disagree on the statement. It clearly shows that most of the students encountered difficulty in solving mathematical problems. On the graph representation above, it shows that female find more difficulty in solving mathematical problems than the male respondent. According to Su of 2007, the literature has consistent report that males perform better on mathematics problem solving than females, due among high ability students on standards mathematics tests. These gender differences are generally obvious in high school and in college and vary across mathematical tasks.
Hindrances why students are having trouble in solving mathematics problem. This figure presents that students encounter the factors that affect the mathematical problem solving skills. Most of the students disagreed on the statement that the student should do to familiarize and to know the things to avoid having trouble in solving mathematical problem. The learnings from junior high school about solving mathematical problem is the highest factor why students make having trouble in solving mathematical problem. According to Mahanta 2019, many students simply don't spend enough time practicing the math concept, even though students have a thorough understanding of the math lesson. Without practice, the concept will be lost on them. This may also stem from a lack of interest in the subject or the topic.
Best teaching strategy to boost the mathematical problem-solving skills of the students. This figure presents the students are willing to listen if a math instructor uses real-life example for students to easily understand the concept of mathematical problems. On the other hand, being a strict instructor and giving enough time as a teaching strategy to boost the mathematical problem-solving skills of the students is not really good. Davis 2021 states that within the school system, teachers are the most important factors contributing to student achievement. Teachers who have mastered effective approaches and strategies in teaching mathematics can help increase students' mathematical knowledge and improve math outcomes.
Now, let us have the conclusion. The researchers came up with the following conclusions regarding the factors affecting the mathematical problem-solving skills of the students. First, most of the students encountered difficulty in solving mathematical problems, that female find more difficulty in solving the mathematical problems than the male respondents. The second one, the learnings from junior high school about solving mathematical problems is the highest factor why students make having trouble in solving mathematical problems. And last, the best teaching strategy is incorporating real-life example for students to easily understand the concept of mathematical problems.
For the recommendations, after the drawn conclusions, the following suggestions are highly recommended. For the students, develop the hindrances that affect the mathematical problem-solving skills and study the things to do to avoid trouble on solving mathematical problems. For the parents, help the students schedule and manage a time to study solving mathematics problems. For the mathematics instructors, consider and observe the best strategy to boost the interest and skills of students in solving mathematical problems. For the school and administration, produce materials or resources that are made available at all times and made effective for achieving academic standards. And for the future researchers, conduct further researches related to problem-solving skills of students and consider having larger samples that it would provide stronger data, making the topic more reliable and to have a better result.
And here are the references that was used in this study.